Peter, it's been 5 years since you got here. I would think it was pretty much 5 years ago when we announced your first deal. Can you remember those times, what it felt like to be a Jokerit player?
Yeah, I remember I was in North America and had a tough last year. I got sent down to the minors and called my agent pretty early on and said I'm ready to go back to Europe, and was looking at different options and down south and but also in the KHL and obviously most teams are in Russia, and that was the teams we were kind of looking at. And then all of a sudden he called and said that, oh, I just talked to Jokerit, there might be a deal here if you want to go. And I was actually on my way out to play golf, and I was sitting in the parking lot and I was like, okay, I'll get back to you, and basically agreed on it right away. Yeah, so it didn't take long, and it felt right from the beginning. I played with Tämä that year and had heard things about the club, and obviously it's a historic club and one of the bigger, or if not the biggest in Europe, and with an iconic logo. So it's always been a team that you kind of followed, and it was the best decision I could make.
Right away, when you got here, it was clear that you're gonna be a top player for this team. How easy was it to kind of get adjusted with everything, with such a long period in North America, and to become an elite player for Jokerit?
Well, it was. I knew it was going to be a big challenge on the ice. In terms of, I wanted to prove that I was one of the good players, in not only on the team but in the league, and that I still had some game left in me. So it was. I was nervous coming in here, to be honest. But at the same time, right away, I felt the support from Jari and from Erkka at the time, and they were really pushing to give me a big role on the team. And we came 3 Danish guys, so the social part of it was easy. I knew Philip from before, and JJ became one of my best friends. So it all kind of worked out, and it's just felt like home since day one.
After the first season, you were made captain. What kind of a moment was that? How did it feel when they called you and said that, hey, you're going to be the next captain for Jokerit?
I actually went and had dinner with Jukka, had signed as a coach already. I went and had dinner with Janne and Jari and Jukka, and we were talking for a while and had dinner, and at the end he asked me if I wanted to become the captain, and obviously I said yes. I was a little bit emotionally about it. I think it was such a big honor, to knowing the history here with no foreign player ever had been the captain, so to be the first one, but also just to be the captain of a Jokerit team now in the best league in Europe, and with everything. So it was a very proud moment for myself, and something that I cherished all 4 years I was the captain here, and something I'm proud of.
It's a tough position because everybody in this room look to you for guidance and support. How did you handle it? How was it for you mentally to serve as captain?
I think I grew with it. I think in the beginning I was trying to at times put too much pressure on myself to make a difference on the ice, and always trying to maybe do too much at times. Whereas at the end I just kind of, I think I found my role where I could just be myself and try to like be a motivating factor, but at the same time be one of the guys. I think that's a big part of it, that you have to be yourself in it, but also have good communication with the people around. I think that's the main job you have is that you gotta communicate with the management and with coaches, because it's a lot harder sometimes for players down the ranks if your leaders are not doing it. So I think that was the most important role towards the end.
What have been your favorite moments over the 5 years?
I think there's obviously certain games that you remember. The one thing is that I wish we would have had a long playoff run, like a distinct memory of a year where we would have gone far or even won. That's my one regret about being here, is that we didn't have that. Obviously, there's some games, individual games, where we've beat the Sky at home, the 6-0 game this year, the outdoor game, even though we lost. There's certain games where you're like, that was a big result. The game on the road in the playoffs against Seska that went to 1 million periods, like those kind of memories. But overall, every day was just a pleasure to come here. I think that's the one thing I'm gonna always look back at. It just felt like home, and I was excited to come to the rink every day, even during tough times. It was always a happy place to come to, and I love coming back here after the summer. It's every year in North America, there was always a little bit of anxiety going into camp and not knowing what the situation was going to be and so on. But here I was always excited to come home and to start the season.
How do you feel now when it's been decided that your career will continue somewhere else?
Well, obviously I'm sad about it at the moment, but I also know that life will go on, and I wasn't gonna play hockey forever, so that means that eventually I would have to not play here anymore. Obviously, it could have been a few more years here, but sometimes decisions are made, and you got to respect that and move on. I know I have a couple more years left in me here, if not more, but yeah, it could have been fun to stay here for the rest of my career and retire as a Jokerit player, but that wasn't in the cards, and I'll move on.
Finally, just in your words, you can thank everybody.
Yeah, well, I think the guys I'm really gonna miss is obviously the players here, and the staff around the team. That it's been the same staff for the most part for all 5 years. Obviously, there's been a lot of new players coming in and out. I think it's only Jesse left from my first year here. But I've created some friendships for life with some of these guys, and like I said, the staff has been the same, and with all the traveling, and you grow close and you get to know people on a different level than just co-workers. So those are the people I'm gonna miss the most. It's been amazing to play in front of you guys, and playing the home games at Hartwell will be something I always cherish and something I'll always miss.